Hey everybody, Don here. Um, Gonna talk a little bit about bike fit today. My wife is having problems with her hands going to sleep. We've got her handlebars raised up quite a bit. The only thing left to do would be to adjust her seat on the seat rails, move it forward. It's in the middle right now. So, this is a 14. You don't have to loosen both sides up, but basically, I need a rag. My fingers are all greasy here. So we're going to move her seat forward on the rails to put her closer to her handlebars. Now you're kind of limited on how far you can go, but it's still a forward adjustment of about maybe ½ inch. So I'll just loosen it up a little bit, bring it back around. No, on a normal bicycle you would be able to change your stem length, but on this there is no stem length. It is as short as possible, so the only deal would be to move the seat forward or buy a different deal that has an adjustment that allows you to move the seat even farther forward. I imagined, based on her seat height, that she shouldn't be having problems with her hands going to sleep. Let me move you up so you can see me, because I don't think you can see me where the camera's set right now. So the correlation is the more forward you are, more upright you're going to set, and the more you're going to put on your butt. In this case, it's as far forward as I can get it. Her handlebar height is quite a bit above the seat level already. Usually you would ride seat level pretty close to the handlebar height. I don't know if you can see, but on my bicycle it's closer than this one. And my seat's probably not high enough for right now. And when you're adjusting anything on your bicycle, do it in increments. Don't adjust stuff willy-nilly, because you end up losing whatever little bit of comfort you may have had before, and now you're trying to find that again. So do your seat height adjustments in increments, say quarter to ½ inch at a time. Don't go unless you're an experienced rider. If you're an experienced rider, then you probably know where everything needs to be set anyway. You could change the handlebars and you could have them sweep back. You could get, well, if I had been thinking, I would pull. She has a bicycle, I don't. In case you're wondering, this is the only bike I had. Until a few years ago, I had 3 bikes. A mountain bike, a 29er, a 26-inch wheeled, and a road bike. When I got to the point that I couldn't ride my bikes anymore, I decided that I'd find somebody that couldn't afford to purchase a nice bike and sell them both bikes for a reasonable price. I had probably a little over $6,000. One bike was $4,000 alone. I sold that one for $600 to somebody who is, as far as I know, is still riding it. And then I sold the mountain bike and a road bike to a young father, and he took them. The road bike was pretty close to new. He took them and I sold those for $300. Nowhere near what they were worth, but I really didn't need the money. It was more about why leave something sit in the garage and corrode and rust and do whatever until it's to a point that it's not really usable for anyone anymore without spending a lot of money. So back to bike fit. So you can buy a different set of handlebars that are swept back more. That could get you closer to a more upright position. But as far as seat, you're pretty much stuck with where it is. I mean, a different seat post would make it a difference. They make different stems for these, but as near as I can tell, they're going to put you farther away from the seat and instead of closer. At some point, the whole goal would be to make you more comfortable riding. The more comfortable it is, the more likely you're going to ride your bike, the more time you're going to spend on it, making it easier for you to get fit and to get whatever goals you have set for yourself. Another side note, for those of you that put slime in your tire, whether it's the white liquid, the green liquid, when you check your tire pressure, the valve has to be up on the top of the tire, up here, not on the bottom. If you put it down there on the bottom, and any fluid that's in the tire is going to end up in your whatever you're using to check. Likewise, you want, when you pump up the tire, you want to do it from the top or from the side, with the liquid being in the bottom of the tire. We're going to go for a ride today. She's been doing 11 miles every day with an occasional longer ride in between, but today it'll be an 11 miler probably. Tires are holding up well on her bike. Tire pressure's fine. Haven't had to adjust the derailleurs yet, so that gives you an idea. We're at, I believe we're at 103 or 104 on hers. 104. So we're at 104 miles on her and about 550 on mine. Her bike is going to get the wheels trued first. I have a truing stand somewhere hiding around here. Let me grab one and show it to you. Dirty, dusty. This one is made by the Spin Doctor. So my biggest concern is whether or not that rim's going to fit in it. It's going to be close. So Spin Doctor. It'll fit the dropouts on. It'll fit the width of the wheel as far as how big it is. Man, the dust that you get in a garage. So if it doesn't fit, then I'm not sure what we can do. What I'll do, I'll probably just true it on the bike, but it looks like it'll fit. Has this as a folding stand to give you a place to set it so the wheel doesn't tip over. This doesn't have a centering, doesn't center automatically. You just squeeze this together and it comes together and fits the hub. And it's meant for 135 millimeters, so we should be okay. You have a little deal you can put up here so you can keep track of how centered the wheel is in there. If you can't use this, you can use just this. I mean, it'll give you some measurements on there, and you can see how the wheel's spinning, whether or not, and then you would use this down here to make sure the wheel is true. So I've had that for quite a few years. I don't even know if they make Spin Doctor is a Trek company, so maybe it'll be on the Trek website. Maybe they went on to something else. Like I was saying, so there's been a little concerns that we're violating the law in Michigan riding a Class 2 on a rail to trail, but both me and my wife are physically disabled, and the way the state law reads is we can ride on any trail, including ones that aren't uh, designed for electric bikes. Because of our disabilities, we can ride our electric bikes basically anywhere a bicycle can go in Michigan. Um, because it goes from a bicycle to a mobility device for us. Um, so, so fit. Uh, Believe me, there's other options. Okay, you don't have to. You might have to think a little differently to get the bike to fit you better, but there's ways to get the bike to fit. You could twist these handlebars so that uh, they're closer to the bike instead of being straight up and down. It would require you moving everything around on the handlebar to the right position, but that isn't really that hard. Most of them, it's just Allen screws holding this stuff on. This, I'm not sure how it's held on without taking it apart, but it might be just something, it's probably just a little screw. Yeah, it looks like there's just a little clamp that holds that on too. So you can move this stuff around. You can turn the handlebars towards the seat a little more and get another couple inches. So you might have to do it. For people who have problems getting on and off the XP, here's a suggestion for you. There's something out there in the mountain bike world, and it's used for downhill bikes. It's called a dropper post. And it's to get the seat out of the way when the mountain bike is going down a hill, because they're not sitting on the seat for the most part. They're using their body as a shock absorber too. So the way a dropper seat works is when it's not in the drop position, it's at your saddle height, and when you put it in the drop position, it hydraulically lowers the seat about 6 inches. So imagine this seat being down 6 inches, and then it's out of your way, so you can flip your foot over there. It'd be great for somebody older like me that has problems lifting their leg up, say 36, 38 inches, and getting it over the seat. So look for, it's called a dropper post, and there's two versions. I would suggest you get the one that comes with a cable that you can hook a little release lever up here on your handlebars. So if you have problems getting on the bicycle, you can leave it in the drop position, get on the pedals, stand up, hit the lever, the seat will come up to the right place, and you're good until you need to get off. And when you need to get off, you hit the dropper, it comes down, and you're set. So you have to put your weight on it, so it's not like it's going to do it automatically going down, but yeah, you're not going to be pedaling anymore when you want to get off anyway. So called dropper posts. I've seen them all anywhere from, they're expensive, but it can make the difference of you being able to ride a bicycle or not. And it literally could be that difference. That 6 inches could make quite a bit of difference. And there might be some out there that go drop farther than 6 inches. I really don't know. I haven't did a lot of research on the different lengths, but for most part, they're going to work well for you if you need something that moves the seat out of the way. So, dropper posts. You can find them on Amazon. You can find them on performancebike.com, nashbarbike.com, coloradocyclist.com. Who else have I ordered from? Those are the three big ones. Colorado Cyclist is going to be the upper end of bicycle stuff. They cater to bike snobs, and of us that have ridden for a lot of years, we know what a bike snob is. Amazon has them. When it comes to equipment like that, you don't always know what you're getting. Don't always believe the reviews. And Amazon's notorious for having fake reviews on it, so look elsewhere for the reviews first before you buy something on Amazon. If you find a good review on, say, one of those bike shops, or a bike shop tells you it's a good dropper post or a good piece of equipment, you can pretty much believe them, especially if they have it in their shop. So look, check the sources out. Um, you can find seats that have longer rails on them that you can move forward. You can find seat posts that have adjustment that allow you to move it back and forth. You can put a suspension seat post on there if you need to. With the springs, you're going to get about the same results. The suspension seat post might be a little smoother though. The stem we're kind of stuck with. It's kind of bike specific, but there is options out there. There's handlebars out there, and most of us need wider handlebars anyway. I'm supposed to be putting a mirror on my bike, but I've resisted. I'd rather use my ears to hear if somebody's coming up on me. I'd rather use my senses, but my wife's nagging me. You don't have to cut the end of the bar. The best way to do it is to take a ball peen hammer or a hammer and just pound against the rubber on the end of the deal. The end of the bar will cut a hole in the rubber that's just the right size. And it's nice and neat and you don't have to worry about it. She has a mirror on hers, but you can find them on eBay for, not eBay, Amazon for, I think we paid $12.99 for 2 mirrors. They're left and right, but it doesn't really matter. So I think we're going to call it, remember, bike fit is important, is the most important part of riding a bike, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to do it for very long. So look at what you can get and what you need to make the bike more comfortable. If your butt's going to sleep, you have too much weight on your butt. If your hands are going to sleep, you're putting too much weight on your hands. So it's a balancing act. So you need to figure out which way you need to balance your weight and move from there. Your butt probably going to end up sore for the first couple of weeks anyway, so don't do anything for a while. Make sure that it's the bike fitment and not you getting used to riding the bike before you spend a bunch of money on stuff that you may not even need. So that's pretty much my bike fit video. I moved my wife's seat forward. We'll see if it makes a difference. If we have to, we'll move her stem up farther, and as the stem goes up, it's probably at a 5 or 6 degrees, so it still will get closer if she raises the stem up higher. We have quite a bit of adjustment on both of the seat post and the stem before we're anywhere near the limits. My bike seems to be fine for me. The only thing I really want to get rid of is that handlebar and get with something a little wider. I just feel like my hands are too close together. As you put this handlebar wider, it opens up your chest and makes it easier to breathe, because when your hands are crunched like this, it makes it harder to breathe. So if you're having problems getting a full breath when you're on the bicycle, it's probably the handlebar width isn't quite right. And that's where all the manufacturers try to save money. Is the width. They make the shortest possible bar. I think they range from say 560 millimeters, which is less than 24 inches, to 760 to 800 probably is the upper limit. 80 centimeters would be a downhill bar, a little too wide. So if you take your shoulder width from here to here and measure it, and you could come up with what size bar you want. You want your hands wider than your shoulders. So I think that covers everything. Please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. The more thumbs up you get, the more they promote your video. The more people see it, the more people I help. Questions, comments, leave them below. I will attempt to answer all comments and all questions. At some point, I'm sure I won't be able to do it, and maybe I'll just do videos when I get enough comments about something. So we'll call that a video.
the wife should be coming out here pretty soon, and